Hello everyone, this is Princess here, and for today's video we're going to talk about Arc 4, Chapter 2, Part 2. So for this event we are getting a new story character, which is going to be Iris from Final Fantasy 15, and Tifa's burst also comes back, but for this video we're just going to be talking about Iris's kit, and then about what her Shinryu was like. So let's get started. So a little bit about Iris is she is a green crystal character, she uses unique weapons, and then just to summarize her kit, she's a supportive character that provides Brave Battery and heals for the party. She has some turn manipulation from her EX and her LD, and then with her burst weapon, it can lower all stats for enemies down to 0, which is pretty interesting. So looking at her kit, so this is with the extensions. I have the image for her 15 CP weapon right here. As you can see, it is her wristbands, which is kind of cute. So her first skill, oops, I can just zoom in a little bit. Here we go. So her first skill is called Potion Pass. This will heal a selected ally's HP by 100% of the individual's max HP. Excess heals are distributed to allies and is up to 40% of max HP. This also raises Party Brave based on Iris's max Brave. It also extends the buff duration by 1 turn, and it is instant turn rate, so you can use this to charge the Force Gauge. So then for her skill 2, it is called Moonbow. So this raises the party's Brave based on max Brave, and it's a 2-hit Brave HP attack that is dealt 6 times. It has 180% Stolen Brave Overflow. It raises Brave based on damage dealt after each HP attack. It deals splash damage, and it also grants her the buff Amacita Arts for 6 turns, which raises Iris's attack and max Brave. So then we have her C65, which is Brave Heal All. This raises the party's Brave by 50% of Iris's max Brave, and it adds a 10% boost to the party's max Brave and to their Brave gains. So then for the calls, when you call Iris in to use Potion Pass, it's pretty much the same thing as her S1. It heals the selected ally's HP, and then the excess will be distributed to allies. And then you have her LD call, which is Revolution. So this adds a 10% party HP regen, and then it raises the party's Brave damage, Stolen Brave Overflow, Gain Brave Overflow, and their HP damage. Okay, so now moving on to her armor. So her 35 CP armor is Iris's Choker. I thought that was a belt at first. It adds 680 to her HP, and then 220 to her max Brave. Then her 90 CP armor is Iris's Necklace. This will add 110 to initial Brave and then 84 to her defense. And then when you realize it, it will add 680 to her HP and then 72 to her attack. And then lastly, we have her high armor, which is Iris's Ensemble. So this raises the party's attack and then max Brave cap by 5%. Moving on to her artifacts, you want to give her attack, max Brave, and then her C50, which is Girl of Conviction. And what this does is it raises the max Brave and attack by 5% when she has Amacita Arts active. And then for her spear slots, she has A, C, and D. And when you max out her EX, she will have a C spear called HP Heal Attack All Shorter. And what this does is raises the party's attack by 10% for 3 turns when healing own HP. She does have an RF for this, I just don't remember when it came out, but the boost will be by 4% instead of 10. So moving on to Iris's EX weapon, this is what I consider a really interesting thing about Iris, which is her EX weapon. So this is the Moogle wristband, which will grant her the skill Moogle Throw. This will move a selected ally's turn after Iris, and she will deal damage based on 100% of damage dealt by the ally on their previous turn. So in other words, she's going to copy the damage from the person who went last. This also doesn't consume Brave, and also raises party's Brave by Iris's max Brave. So it's a It's a 6-hit AoE Brave split HP attack that is dealt twice. It has a 200% Stolen Brave Overflow, and it raises Brave based on damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last. And then when you limit break it to 2 out of 3, Iris will start the quest with Amacita Arts for 6 turns. Moving on to the LD weapon, this is the Rainbow Wristband, which will grant the skill Revolution. This will grant her the buff Princess Childhood Friend for 12 turns. With the LD boards, this will let you start the buff with 6 turns. So what this does is it will move Iris's turn to after the selected ally, and then does a 1-hit Brave HP attack that is dealt 8 times. It has a 200% Stolen Brave Overflow. It raises Brave based on damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last one. It deals splash damage. It raises Party Brave based on damage dealt, and raises 1 use of Potion Pass and Moonbow to their upper limit, and it also grants recast increase to her EX. So in other words, it's going to charge it up to max. And then if we look at the buff itself, so Princess Childhood Friend will grant party HP regen and then raises the party's brave damage, their stolen and gain brave overflow, and then their HP damage. So next up we have her force weapon, which is the power wristband. This will grant the force time Slapstick Moogle, and her partner is Sarah. So this raises the party's brave based on max brave and then deals a 6-hit AoE brave split HP attack that is dealt 4 times. During force time, party brave gains will go up by, well, let me go right over here. During force time, the party brave gains go up 50%, and when breaking and attacking a broken target, the party gets 20% up to HP damage and then max brave cap. So then for the bonus, you get 40% when you're using melee attacks. This excludes launches and triggers, and then 30% when the party grants brave to an ally. And finally, we have her burst weapon, which is the Nocturne Wristband. This will grant the finishing burst Eclipse, which is an 8-hit AoE brave full HP attack dealt twice, and the effect is 8 turns, and it does include Gladio in it, which is pretty nice. So for her burst effect, this will set all enemies' attack, defense, and max brave to 0. It also raises the party's brave damage cap, and max brave cap. So finally, we have the boss, which is going to be 2 Vanguard Magitech armors. Their attacks are pretty much the same, but some differences is that they can inflict freeze with Ice Beam Plus, they can inflict sap with Fire Beam Plus, and then inflict paralysis with Thunder Beam Plus. If you have C65s or if you have someone with debuff evasion, then you don't have to worry about getting hit with these debuffs. Another thing to watch out for is when the boss's force gauge reaches 50%, they will use Magitech Laser Plus. It reduces HP to 50% and it is guaranteed, but it does not ignore defense. So if you have someone like Warrior of Light or Gladio with you, then you don't have to worry about taking damage. Okay, so now moving on to the boss's force gauge. For their weakness, it's really simple. You can just use a melee force to cancel their force time. So Iris and Tifa obviously deal with this. If you have Leo, you can use him, or someone like Core or Squall or Pain. And then for their gauge, so the whole time, for the whole fight, their gauge goes up by 4% whenever you act, and they also have Brave HP damage resist up by 20%. And then around at 50%, not only will they trigger Magitech Laser Plus, but the increase goes up to 50%. And then when their gauge is about 90% filled, the resist increases to 80%. And then for their force time, they will do one of these 2 attacks. So they will use Hyper Tackle Plus, which is a guaranteed hit that reduces HP by 50%, and it does consume 100% of your Brave. But keep in mind, this does not ignore defense. Now for the other variant, which is Hyper Tackle Plus Plus, this will be used if the party does not have max Brave at all. So if that happens, then you are going to get hit with this attack, and it also paralyzes you for 2 turns. So then for their force time, they will be in force time for 20 turns, and during that time, they will recover 80% of any damage that they take. So think of it like Rex's boss, Braska's final Aeon, or the bosses from Jesse's event. Okay, so that pretty much covers up everything over here. So now I'm going to head over to JP and I'm going to showcase Iris. So I will be right back. Alright, so we're back on JP now. So here's just the entirety of what part 2 is going to look like. As you can see, it is based off of Listellum in Final Fantasy 15, and it looks really nice. I was legitimately not expecting this to appear at all, but it's really beautiful, and I love how it looks here. So here is the Lufenia for this. So let me just... Alright, so here is my Iris over here. I did max her out. I've got practically everything on her, and I'm so happy. So now I'm going to just jump straight into the Lufenia, and I can showcase her skills. So give me a quick second. Alright, so here are the Magitech armors. Alright, so we're going to start off first with Potion Pass. So there you go, everyone's at max Brave, and you can see her buffs did not go down, they were extended. So that's what I really like about Iris, is that I can just charge the gauge with her, and I never have to worry about her buffs falling off. So now here's Moonbow. Alright, and then we're just going to skip ahead to when it's her turn again. Alright, so now here is Revolution. So you pick the skill just like this, and then I'm going to pick Tifa right here. So now she goes after Tifa, and her EX is fully recast. So now we're just going to do some damage with Tifa again. Let's just go in with a Beat Rush. Alright, so now we're going to use Moogle Throw. And I'm going to pick Tifa for this. And now she did damage equal to Tifa. So with the right setup, if you're bringing like a really heavy sort of like DPS character, someone like say Ostos, well, maybe, sorry, that's thinking a little too far ahead. Someone like Enna Crow, and then later on when we get folks like Ostos, you can do some really crazy damage with Iris. You can have her copy someone's, copy one of their damages, and then she'll just like do a lot of damage basically. I completely stumbled over that, I'm sorry. Okay, so now we're going to use Slapstick Moogle, and I love the animation for this. Anytime I see that, I just think of volleyball. It's so cute. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut ahead to when Iris is next. Alrighty, so now here's Eclipse. Now, it might be a little hard to see, but now the boss's Brave is set to 0, along with his attack and defense. So this can really come in handy. What's it called? Like for if you're like me and if you don't like when bosses get into force time and then deal damage to you, you can just completely shut them off using Iris's burst effect. It makes bosses like not even a threat anymore. So for my final thoughts, I love using Iris personally. I use her a lot still to this day. With gauge charging, it doesn't lower her buff duration. EX makes you deal nutty damage, especially if you have like heavy DPS characters like Tifa or Enna Crow with you. Burst effect drops all threats from enemies, and it's just like smooth sailing for me. I love using her. So that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know if you will be pulling for Iris, and I will see you all next time.